guys, and welcome to the latest episode of One Pod Life. Sorry, it's been a bit of a break. Took a couple of weeks off to celebrate my birthday and kind of chill out, really. So yeah, we're back, and welcome to the next episode. So in this episode, we're talking to Louis Campbell, who is a professional golfer, has been for the last 4 years, and he's got an interesting story about how he got into golf at the age of 7, which we'll hear about in a second. And then how he moved on and sort of gained influence from professional players, including Zane Scotland, where he's actually part of their academy as well. And then he talks about his top 3 tips as what he thinks is best for any amateur golfer. So yeah, sit tight and listen in, and hope you enjoy the next episode of One Pod Life. So hey Louis, and welcome to the One Pod Life podcast. How you getting on, mate?
All good, thanks, mate. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to this. Let's get some facts and figures out there.
No, good stuff. So, obviously, for those who don't know who Louis Campbell is, if you could just give me a little intro about yourself and, how you getting on?
Yeah, sure, mate. So, obviously, you introduced me there. Pro golfer, have been for the last 4 years. Currently having a bit of tough time with things, as I think everyone is, with what's going on in the world. So, golf has kind of taken a back step. But apart from that, I've I picked up the game age 7 on my 7th birthday. I got my first golf club, and it kind of took off from there.
Great. So that was going to be one of my first questions: was when did you actually start playing golf, and how did you actually get into it?
Yeah, so it was actually on my 7th birthday. My dad got me a Dunlop 7 iron, and he cut it down so it was the right height.
Good old Dunlop.
Absolutely, yeah. And then we took a bag of balls up to the local cricket club on the common there, and he showed me what to do and how to hold the club. And ever since that day, I've kind of been hooked on improving and getting better. You get that little addiction as soon as you hit a good shot. That was it.
Oh no, 100%. So was your dad a keen golfer himself, and that's the reason why he got you the club for your 7th birthday? Or was it something you actually wanted?
Yeah, it's quite strange actually, because he doesn't really play himself. But I think he must have somehow thought, here's a sport I'll try and introduce him to, and it kind of went from there. I went to the driving range for the first time the day after my birthday, I think, and then it kind of escalated from there. And ever since then, it's kind of been the main priority.
No, great stuff. That's not a bad little way to get introduced to it at 7 years old. And here a little Dunlop. That's quite funny, I think. Sorry, it made me laugh. Made me laugh when you said Dunlop. You don't hear that name these days much more, do you? So
yeah. Well, in fact, I actually think it's somewhere flying around still. So it actually be quite good to get out one day and see how it feels.
That'd be quite funny. Reminisce on the good times. All right. So, would your dad be the only sort of influence then to get into golf, or was any other outside factors that throughout the early years of you playing sort of got you inspired?
It was quite strange until he actually gave me that golf club. I'd never even seen golf, to be honest. It was never part of the family growing up. So that was really the only first time, and then I didn't really get into it properly, as in playing on the golf course wise, probably till I was about 13, 14.
Oh, right, okay. So in some sense, you're quite a late bloomer then, really.
Yeah, it was, because obviously I played a lot of other sports growing up, football, rugby, cricket, So it was kind of a strange one, because I had playing the football on Saturday, rugby on Sunday, and then, as you know, those two and injuries in golf don't really work out. No,
they don't.
And then, as I said, the first time I kind of stepped onto the golf course, kind of 13, that was when I really got that, that addiction of wanting to get better. I want to be good. I want to get a cap. I want to start playing properly. And then it kind of overrid the golf and rugby side of things, which was strange for me, because they were always the focus.
Yeah.
And then it came to a point where I kind of had to make a decision, because I joined a local club, MENA Golf Club, and I got my first handicap, which was obviously 36, and I was down to about 8 in a year.
Wow, okay, that's a big jump.
So then, it was kind of a decision of, right, do I continue just playing this in and when I want to, or do I want to try and play it at a higher level, you know.
Yeah.
So that was it. And then I think rugby was first to go on the Sunday, so I could play on Sunday. And then football went on Saturdays, and then that was my weekends up the golf club.
Yeah, no, great stuff. I mean, that's quite a big jump down from 36 to 8. I'm guessing at that age, it probably comes a little bit easier and a little bit quicker to pass the game a little bit.
Absolutely, it was strange. I mean, I remember playing my first club tournament with just a few of the members. I had no idea, and 14 years old, whatever it was, and I remember shooting a pretty good score, and they were just like, "You've just shot way under your handicap," and I've never really known what that meant, because I'd never really kind of got into that side of things. So I was just like, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah." And then they were like, "Oh, you should play next week." So I played the next week, and I played well again, because I guess because I didn't really know, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just like, "Oh, I'm just going out to play golf again."
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, there's sort of no premonitions, there's no sort of hang-ups, and there's nothing really stopping you from just going out and playing golf, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, that was the first time I'd even picked up a scorecard. You know, so it was almost like that freedom that I think quite a lot of people struggle to get back once they start getting too serious into it. You know, that freedom of I'm just going to go and play.
Yeah, I've gone through that. I went through that last year. I literally, as soon as you put a card in my hand, it just went out the window. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd fold quite easily in like 4 holes and go, I said, that's that over then. And the rest of it would just deteriorate. So, I mean, I think I'm slowly getting back to the point where I can just go out and play golf now and have a card and not sort of kind of worry about it that much. But
it's amazing what those demons play in your head, isn't it?
Oh yeah, big time.
Scary.
So remind me again, so right now, obviously if we were playing golf right now, what tours are you playing on?
So the MENA Tour, which is based out in the Middle East.
Yep.
So I was actually this year was going to be EuroPro, but obviously that got cancelled due to the COVID-19. Jamaica Tour alongside TP Tour and some Clutch Tour events, kind of in between being out in the Middle East.
Okay. So the MENA Tour, does that take up a lot of your time then? Is that where your focus is?
So the last 2 years I've been out in the Middle East, and that runs from end of January through to beginning of March, and then they have their summer break, and then we go back out September through to November, I think it is.
Okay.
So kind of it's actually perfect. It's kind of when the weather's getting bad in the UK.
Yep.
I'll go over there. Yeah, exactly. But I was very lucky. The main reason I first went out there was because my mum moved out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now my mum, brother, and sister all live out there. Sorry.
Right. So that was the main reason. So when you go there, you've actually got somewhere to stay as well. Yeah,
exactly. So it was either EuroPro or the MENA Tour. And I'd seen the MENA Tour advertised a few times. I know one of the lads who had been playing it, and he was like, "Oh, it's brilliant." And then having accommodation out in the Middle East, I was like, "It's a bit of a no-brainer," you know.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, I think I'll be there in a shot if I had someone live there, family members as well. Don't worry about that. I went over there a couple of years ago actually on a work trip and managed to get a few rounds in over at where did I play again? I played the Earth course over at the Jumeirah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, I actually played that a week before the race to the bye-final was there. So
oh wow! So must have been in pretty good condition.
Oh, it was in pretty good condition, but they made me walk it, and I was like, "Are you joking me?" So it was like, I think it was about 38 degrees. I'm pulling my bag around in Dubai. It was lovely. Still managed to shoot my handicap, which I was quite happy with.
Good man.
I played the Trump International.
That's a fairly new one actually.
It is. Yeah, and then I also managed to play the Faldo at night for 9 holes, which is a good experience.
Night golf. Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't wait to go back and do a bit more night golf. That was good fun. So no, okay. So the MENA Tour then. So last 2 years, how have you gone?
Yeah, so it was a steady. Last year, the year before, kind of, it was almost been a bit of a gradual rise. The first year I played it, looking back on it, I went into it probably with a different mentality the last 2 years, but I kind of went into it first of all the wrong mentality.
Right. Okay.
I didn't have what I would say now is like a mentor or a proper coach / mentor, to one that I could talk to and go through and have the experience of being there, done it sort of thing.
Well, okay.
So it was, the first year I struggled, and it hit me quite hard, the actual kind of reality of it, of playing for money, for your living. And these guys are good, I'd played a lot of amateur golf, and you kind of think, these guys are going to be roughly the same standard, and you kind of get out there and think,
it's completely different.
These guys can really play. And it was actually when I was out in Thailand, the first year I played the MENA Tour, we had some events over there in Thailand, and I'd played what I thought was fairly well, and I kind of ended up, I think I scraped the cut and ended up kind of bottom of the pack. And then I kind of thought that was a moment where I was like, right, something's kind of going to need to change here. This isn't quite cutting it.
No.
So I seek the advice and help of a good friend of mine, Zane Scotland, who was out there at the time.
Great stuff. Not a bad mentor.
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of went to him, explained my situation, kind of threw myself right in there to him, and he was just like, yeah, sure, we can have a look. And it kind of, our relationship and kind of went from there. And he really was, a turning point, especially out in the Middle East of, he literally took me from missing cuts to making cuts. I kind of made it.
Great stuff. No, because also as well, he's still playing the MENA Tour, isn't he? So I guess he was always around at the same time that you were.
Yeah, it was perfect. He had a little academy out there that he set up with us guys. I think it was about 5 or 6 of us, and it worked really well. Everyone had great, everyone was rooting for each other. Everyone was helping each other out. And especially for me, I kind of felt I needed a mentor rather, not just a swing coach, but a mentor, someone I could speak to, like before my round, after my round, and kind of go through stuff. And it just kind of simplified everything out. And he gave me some unbelievable advice that I still use to this day. So
great stuff.
That really helped. Yeah.
No, that's good to hear. I think people like that. Obviously, Zane. He's been doing a lot for the game recently, on and off the screen with Sky Sports and everything. But I think just having someone like you said to lean on, who's had the experience, who's there doing it as well, so that he can definitely
100%. I mean, if you look at the events he's played and where he was in his career, he's got a lot of knowledge to give. So some of the stuff we went through and spoke about and simplifying things, it really changed a lot that year, and I kind of haven't really looked back from there.
Okay, so was he clearly was he advising you on swing as well, or was it just purely just as a mentor?
No, it was. It was swing work and mental work. But for me personally, I feel looking back on it, I probably got a lot more out of just talking to him and going through my rounds. And we would go through after I've played, and he would ask, how did you make a bogey there? I'd be like, back flag there, and I hit a 6-iron, it went in the bunker, didn't get up and down. And he'd just be like, why are you going for that flag? You've got the hole of the green to the right, you've got a 6-iron in your hand, 15 foot, it's a fairly good shot, make 4, move on. And ever since then, I was just like, oh yeah, I just play with that simple mindset, and
just little things.
It would just work, and it kind of went from there.
That's good to hear. I think, again, if I reflect on my own game, I think I am slowly learning that the course management is the biggest part of going out and playing golf, because I'm pretty sure I know how to hit a golf ball now, and I don't need to keep practicing it over and over and over again and scrutinise myself on the golf course. But if I then work on the course management, like you said, if you got a back pin that you can't actually get to, why are you going for it? Just put it on the green and move on. Absolutely, yeah. I think it's such a when I play pro-ams of amateurs, and they always ask about the swing, how do I do this? How do I do that? I think so many people get too involved in the technicality of it, and they kind of forget your mind's probably the most powerful tool you can use. No, definitely. I think I went out the other day and played my best round of golf, and all I did was I forgot about the technical side of things and said, right, I want to hit the golf ball there. That's where I'm going to hit it. And if I was slightly off, that's right, I'm still in play. It's not a problem. Let's move on to the next shot.
100%. I think a lot of people, they'll get to the golf club, they'll warm up, they'll have a putt, and if they don't feel great, then they'll already say to themselves, oh, this is going to be a bad round. God. Yeah. Every shot I hit, I sliced it on the range, or, and then you get to the first tee and you're like panicking already before you even step on the golf course. I think one of the best bits of advice, I'm going to steal this little quote from Zane that he told me.
Right.
I hope he doesn't mind, but he said, he used to tell me, you don't have to feel good to play well.
Well, yeah, I've heard that a few times from the sort of top pros that say that as well.
Yeah, he said that in one of his Mark Inman podcasts, I think it was.
I think that's probably where I heard it.
Yeah, but he and then obviously, so when you told that, whenever I'd play a competition, whatever, and I'd be like 4 holes in, I was like +1 or whatever, struggling a bit. I was like, you don't have to feel good to play well. Just remember that. No, exactly. And then you kind of ease your way into the round, and you find a feel from there, and you start hitting some good shots, and that's how you gain your confidence back.
I think that's a nice sound advice there, I think, and something that you can definitely take, anybody can take on and go, right, well, I might not be hitting it the best today, but I can still get the ball round and make birdies and pars. So what's the problem?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Good stuff. All right, cool. So I remember, I think I just looked at your Instagram page earlier. It said that you one of your posts from the Portugal Pro Tour.
Yes.
Said that you won the Order of Merit 3 times. What's that about?
So no, the last year on the Jamaica Tour, they won 4 mini Order of Merits throughout the year. So they're 5 event swings, I think, on the Jamaica Tour, and they add up to 5 events. First 5 events will be the Order of Merit number 1, the next 5 number 2, and they qualify you to go out in January. I think it runs from January through to March, out on the Portugal Pro Golf Tour.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I won one of the Order of Merits last year on the Jamaica Tour, which gave me 3 entries to the unlimited event, this year at the start of the year in January. They're over in Portugal.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a good trip, actually. It was nice to actually get away. That was just before the world went into lockdown.
Right.
So,
okay, so you actually got out there and played then, so that was good.
Actually got out and managed to play some golf, which was nice. I wasn't going to go, and then I was last minute. I was like, you know what, I've got the 3 entries. Let's just go and play.
Oh, yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, I played nicely. I had some really good rounds, and it was a successful trip. So happy days.
Good stuff. Well done. So it looks like you got your hand in a lot of little tours out there. I think these sort of development tours are fantastic for golfers like yourself to really sort of hone your skills and then sort of, like you said, learn what you need to be able to go up and another level to sort of, I don't know, EuroPro Challenge Tour level to then kick on as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think they provide a great platform and an opportunity of guys at any level. You still get guys dropping down from the European Tour. You've got Challenge Tour boys there, and then you've got guys who are literally just starting out as well. So it's nice to see a whole different range of players who compete against one another. And there's the so-called newcomers will see these guys dropping down and give them a chance to play against those guys if it's a 1 or 2 day tournament, and see how they fare. So it's a great opportunity. And yeah.
Well, it's a shame you couldn't play EuroPro this year, but I'm guessing next year you'll be bang on it again and out there competing against some of the best on the tours. Hopefully,
yeah. Well, hopefully European qualifying will go ahead this year, and I'll be a step above EuroPro. But for sure, I can imagine myself and a lot of the guys are in the same boat this year. Is struggling to find stuff to play at the moment.
No, definitely. So have you got any of the Clutch Pro Tour tournaments earmarked for the next couple of weeks, or you?
I have actually. I have. There's a few I've kind of mapped out. There's a few TPs, there's a few Jamigas, and a few Clutch Tours. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna try and make a mini schedule that'll suit myself and play the golf courses that that aren't too far away, etc. And make one that works.
All right, great stuff. So. One of the questions I was going to ask you is, obviously, you've had a few wins in your professional career. Is that correct?
I haven't won. I've been bridesmaid a few times.
Oh, wow. Sorry. I just assumed you won.
Well, you can give them to me if you want.
I'll try. All right. Okay. I'll change the question slightly then, as I've probably embarrassed myself there by saying that. But if you could pick one, what was your best performance you've ever had as a professional golfer?
Ooh, good question. Very good question. I'd say 2 years ago, I played a tournament out in Bahrain. It was the King Hamad Trophy. which is a tournament they have every year out in Bahrain, which is great. It's kind of half pros, half amateurs, but it usually assembles quite a good field.
Okay.
And I hadn't been playing great, and I had a solid first 2 days. I think I was in the second or third last group on the final day, and the conditions weren't great. And it was almost, as I said, warming up, I felt terrible.
Yep.
I felt terrible. I didn't feel great mentally. Swing didn't feel great, so I was a bit agitated before I'd go out. And I think I went out, I shot 5 under final round in tough conditions. I finished tied third, or I think it was. And that really pinpointed to me that exactly thing that I said to you, that, how well I can prove to myself I can get kind of down and nitty gritty with it when it doesn't feel good.
Yep.
And especially with the conditions, it was windy, out in the desert, it's not hard when it's not easy when the wind gets up. No, it's tricky. And I just kind of held my own that day, and I was quite proud of myself for how I managed to do that. And one of the lads I was playing with actually came to me afterwards and said to me, he was like, that was quite impressive. So that was quite a nice thing to have someone who I looked up to, a very good player, say that to me.
No, well, again, I think when you get praise from anyone that's up that sort of level, like you said, someone that you look up to, or even aspire to be as well. I mean, if they can give you some positive feedback, then it's going to propel you really a little bit higher as well, because you'll play a bit more confidence for the next one.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
No, great stuff. All right, well, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why I got that wrong, but there we go. We got that's all good. My next sort of, like I say, fire question I've got for you is, obviously you didn't start till you was 13, 14 really, but at that time, obviously you then started watching golf, I'm guessing, and sort of understanding what it is and watching players that are out there. Who was your favourite golfer that you tried to
I pretty much fell heavily in love with Tiger Woods.
like everyone does.
Yeah, like everyone does. As soon as I started playing golf, it was, I was up all night on YouTube watching videos. I had all the DVDs. I could almost, I'd watch them and I'd literally know what's coming next, what shot's coming next, where's it's going to go. It was, and then it moved on to wearing the shoes, the hats, the T-shirts. It was. I was a big fan, put it that way, and he kind of just, as I think most boys my age and girls growing up, they look at him as, he changed the game. And
yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can't deny that at all. He's definitely changed the game for everyone.
He was pretty much, I'd say he was one of the main reasons why I wanted to play the game professionally. When you can see some of that talent and that work ethic, putting it together, you just kind of sit there and be like, that's what I want.
No, definitely.
I want that. But actually, touching on that quite more, most recently, I grew up playing at Moore Park Golf Club, and I had Matt Wallace and Callum Shinkwin, who are both, obviously, Matt's career's kind of taken off now, and Callum's still having a very successful career on the European Tour. So most kind of recently, speaking to Matt and seeing what he's done has been a great inspiration as well, because I don't know if you know, but he had some struggles with his game and playing on mini tours, and he's shown it's possible, if that makes sense.
No, definitely. I was listening to him on a podcast the other day from Me and My Golf. He did one with them. He was talking about his career, and he kind of fell off the cliff a little bit, but then got back on it again and managed to get his game back. And I think he's won 3 tournaments, so he's not been doing too bad.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, we were playing at Moore Park one day, I think it was in January, and he literally said to me on the range, he was like, right, when are we going to your mum's place in Dubai? We're going to do some winter training. Wow. We went out there for two weeks. I think Callum joined for a week, and he'd done 2 weeks. I've never seen someone work as hard as that. It was almost a lesson to me, like, wow, this is what hard work is. It was 5-6 hours a day on the range, grinding, then putting, then short game, and then playing at night. And then that was a year he kicked on the Alps Tour. He won 6 times, and then it's kind of bloomed from there. So
Oh, it's good. That's like an inspiration for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's good to have someone that you know well, and you've seen it firsthand, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So I guess you've almost gained another mentor there in the same way that you had Zane. You've now got Matt.
Absolutely. And now I'm working with Sam Little over at West Hearts, who's also been great.
I've heard of Sam quite a bit.
Yeah, obviously he's in the same boat. He's been there. He played the tour for years. He knows what it takes, and his advice and his help's been amazing as well. He's kind of taken me on board and really, he doesn't go he doesn't go easy on me, put it that way.
No, so he shouldn't.
He will definitely tell me if it's not good, but not in such polite way.
Yeah, we can't do that. We can't say that on my podcast, please. No. All right, cool. So I think that's fantastic. You got all the guys around you. Like you got Matt, you got Callum, you got Zane, you got Sam. All these people that you can actually lean on and get sort of feedback and advice, and like you said, use them as mentors to move forward. And I guess if you want to be the best, you got to, surround yourself with the people that know what they're doing. And it sounds like you're definitely doing that. I
think that is a key for anyone playing the game. You always want to kind of practice and compete against guys who are that little bit much better than you. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I'm slowly building a little bank of you guys I can come play golf with. So
that's it, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I think the last time I played with you, we played over at Hadley Wood, and it wasn't one of my best days.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to show you what I can do now. So
definitely. Right? Yeah, we'll definitely sort one out. No problem.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. All right, next sort of fire question: who's the best player you've ever played with?
Oof, good question.
I've got a hard one today.
Ever played with?
You can't pick that.
Yeah, I was leading. I was leading that way. Best player I've ever played with, probably. One of the most impressive ball strikers I've played with is actually a friend of mine, Jamie Elson.
Okay.
He's also a hell of a player. He really impressed me. Zane, obviously, very good. Sam, very good. I've played with a lot of guys, a lot of good players. One of your lads who was on here the other day, Todd, he's a great player as well. There's so much talent out there.
No, definitely. Yeah, Todd gets a lot of praise from a lot of people when I talk to him. So, but no, I think, like you said, you played quite a few. Obviously, I'll let you add Matt as well, because obviously you can't deny.
Yeah, that's that. That was probably going to be my number one.
I don't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, that's all
right. Great stuff. So, okay, so if obviously the future for Louis is obviously, again, if we could play golf right now, what's your sort of aspirations for the next sort of 2 years?
Yeah, well, I just want to try and gain status on a good tour. Like, you've got to be pushing for a Challenge Tour, European Tour, and if you can try and get a category on there, then you can push on.
Yeah,
I think these mini tours are great. Even EuroPro is great, but I think if you want to kind of make a footprint in the game, you've got to be trying to push to that next level.
Yeah, and I guess that's what the European qualifying score's for, isn't it? To get your status.
That's it. Exactly that. To try and if you can't get European, then Challenge Tour, and then you kind of build from there. No,
great stuff. Well, I hope you get that, mate, and I can't see why not. And as soon as the door's back open again, get out there and get qualified. Absolutely. And we'll see you on that tours.
Fingers crossed.
No, good stuff. We're going to finish off with the 3 top tips that you'd give any sort of aspiring golfer. So I've been asking these questions because obviously I have aspirations where I want to become a professional golfer like yourself. So if you, obviously I said I play off 8 or 9 at the moment. So if you could give 3 bits of advice to me, what would those 3 things be?
Firstly, find a coach / mentor you trust and you have a good relationship with. I think that's massive.
Yep.
I think I touched on that earlier. I think that's a massive help for anyone. If you can trust what you're doing and where you're going with your game, along with having someone who can mentally push you in the right direction, that's only going to hopefully end one way, and that's with good results and positive outcomes.
Exactly. I was one thing I had taken from this chat so far is mentor. get someone that who's been there, done it, who you can talk to and go, right, well, that's where I want to be, and you can help me get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great stuff. Okay, that's a good first one. Second one?
Another one, I think being honest with yourself is quite key. I think it's quite easy to get ahead of yourself at times, but also go the other way, be really down on yourself at times. So I think just being honest about where you are and what you're trying to achieve is key, and not, I think a lot of people go to have a lesson, a lot of lads I know kind of go to have a lesson playing off 50 in handicap, and then they expect to come out swinging and hitting like Rory McIlroy the next day.
Oh yeah.
And then they start, kicking off because their lesson didn't work. I think if, being honest with yourself and thinking, right, this is where I am today.
Yep.
If I put this amount of work in and I do the right things, it'll take me 3 or 4 weeks, but I'll be ahead of where I am now. It's not going to take 1 or 2 days.
No, of course.
I think just being honest with yourself about everything.
Okay, that's a good one. And then the third one?
The third one is probably learn how to score when you're not playing well. I think that's massive.
Yeah, you touched on it earlier, didn't you? Like you said,
you
don't have to feel well to play well, sort of thing.
Yeah, you don't have to feel good to play well. Probably finding a game when everything's ugly is probably massive. Being able to sometimes shoot level par when you feel terrible is basically like shooting 4 or 5 under par.
Yeah. No, that's good advice.
So like some of those rounds where you're struggling, when you're struggling and you could easily be kind of 3-4 over par, but if you get up and down here, if you save a shot there and all of a sudden you've turned a kind of 76, 77 into a level par, that's massive.
No, mate, I think it's been a really good chat and like real good insight into what it takes to actually sort of get to a level where you are and sort of kick forward as well. So, and free tips you've given us as well. I don't think you can get free better tips than that, really.
Thank you, appreciate that. No, thanks for having me.
There we have it. That was Louis Campbell talking to us about his career and his ups and downs, really, of how he got to play professional golf. One thing that really stuck out for me there was the talk about having a mentor or someone that you can lean on to get advice and sort of teach you the way to sort of emulate where they are, really. So obviously he talked about having Zane Scotland as a sort of mentor and a coach at the same time when he was playing out on the MENA Tour and out in the Middle East. I think that's amazing. Especially if he's lucky to have someone like Zane to have all that experience and offload it to him and sort of teach him and show him the right way to do things. I think it's fantastic. And then obviously he talked about having Matt Wallace as well. Could you have 2 more sort of big players really to sort of get advice from and tell you how to play golf? I don't think you can. So, big things hopefully coming up for Louis. Since I recorded this podcast, he's actually had another second place in the tournament, another bridesmaid. Can't believe I actually got that wrong. I thought he'd actually won the tournament, so apologies there, Louis. And we had a few technical issues as well, so sorry if the sound wasn't perfect, but hopefully the next one will be. So I hope you really enjoyed that podcast. See you again next week, where we'll be bringing back our regular weekly podcasts. And yeah, got quite a good interesting guest next time. So thank you for listening. Head over to Instagram, follow me at onepodlife, or you can subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, iTunes or Google Podcast. And yeah, have a great week and I'll see you again soon.